6 surprising events that unfolded after the death of Jesus Christ are being discussed in video. We're diving deep into a pivotal moment in history, the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Number 1. The veil is torn. Imagine the shock and awe. According to the Gospels, the temple in Jerusalem was the central place of worship and sacrifice. The Holy of Holies, located behind the veil, was the innermost and most sacred part of the temple. The veil that tore was a thick and elaborate curtain, likely several inches thick, separating the Holy of Holies from the rest of the temple. This veil symbolized the separation between God and humanity due to sin. This veil was the barrier between humanity and God's presence. Its tearing signified a dramatic shift. Many Christians interpret this event as symbolizing the opening of a direct and unmediated access to God through the sacrificial death of Jesus Christ. Jesus' sacrifice, some believe, opened a direct path between humans and the divine. Number 2. The earth shakes, literally. The occurrence of an earthquake at the moment of Jesus' death, as described in the Bible, holds deep symbolic and theological significance. The region where Jesus lived, Judea, was prone to earthquakes due to its location on the Syrian-African fault zone. While we can't definitively prove an earthquake occurred at the exact time of the crucifixion, it's certainly plausible. In ancient Jewish and Christian thought, natural phenomena like earthquakes were often interpreted as signs of divine intervention or judgment. The sudden and powerful earthquake at the precise moment of Jesus' death was seen as a profound response from nature to the cosmic significance of this event. It signaled a momentous shift in the spiritual realm. Number 3. The tombs opened. The tombs broke open and the bodies of many holy people who had died were raised to life. They came out of the tombs after Jesus' resurrection and went into the holy city and appeared to many people. Some scholars interpret the opening of tombs and the resurrection of the righteous as a foreshadowing of Jesus' own resurrection. This event anticipates the victory over death that Jesus would achieve through his resurrection, demonstrating his power over death and the grave. The opening of tombs and the resurrection of some righteous individuals after Jesus' death represent a mysterious and Jesus' sacrificial death. This event underscores the victory of Jesus over death and the promise of resurrection and new life for all who believe in him. Number 4. A Roman soldier is convinced. Roman soldiers were responsible for carrying out the crucifixion of Jesus and guarding him during this ordeal. Crucifixion was a common form of execution used by the Romans for criminals and rebels. The Roman soldier, along with his fellow soldiers, witnessed extraordinary events that accompanied Jesus' crucifixion. These events included darkness covering the land and the powerful earthquake that shook the earth. In the Gospel of Matthew, the Roman soldier's declaration, "Surely he was the Son of God," is a pivotal moment of recognition and faith. This declaration signifies a profound shift in the soldier's understanding and belief about Jesus. It reflects the realization that Jesus was more than just a condemned criminal. He was the divine Son of God. Number 5. Joseph of Arimathea steps up. Joseph of Arimathea was a prominent and wealthy member of the Jewish council, Sanhedrin, who was also a secret disciple of Jesus. Aromathia was likely a town in Judea, but its exact location is uncertain. Following Jesus' crucifixion, Joseph of Arimathea courageously went to Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor, and requested permission to take Jesus' body down from the cross. This action demonstrated Joseph's deep respect and care for Jesus, despite the risk of associating himself with a condemned criminal in the eyes of the Jewish leaders. Pilate granted Joseph's request, and Joseph, along with Nicodemus, another secret disciple of Jesus, took Jesus' body, wrapped it in linen cloth, and placed it in a new tomb that Joseph had prepared for himself. This act of providing a proper burial for Jesus was a demonstration of honor and reverence toward Jesus, acknowledging his dignity and innocence. The actions of Joseph of Arimathea align with Old Testament prophecies regarding the burial of the Messiah. Isaiah 53 verse 9 foretold that the Messiah would be buried in a rich man's tomb, which was fulfilled through Joseph's provision of his own tomb for Jesus' burial. Joseph's public involvement in the burial of Jesus despite potential backlash from the Jewish leaders highlights his courage and commitment to honoring Jesus. His actions also served as a testimony to the truth of Jesus' innocence and the injustice of his crucifixion. Joseph of Aromathia stepping up to request and provide a proper burial for Jesus after his crucifixion illustrates his deep respect, courage, and devotion to Jesus. Number 6. The women at the tomb. The Gospels mention several women who were present at the tomb, including Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, Salome, Joanna, and possibly others. These women were devoted followers of Jesus who had accompanied him during his ministry and were witnesses to his crucifixion. The women went to the tomb early on the first day of the week, likely with the intention of further anointing Jesus' body with spices and oils. They were demonstrating their love and devotion to Jesus even in death. When the women arrived at the tomb, they were surprised to find the stone rolled away from the entrance and the tomb empty. This initial discovery caused confusion and distress among the women, as they were unaware of Jesus' resurrection at this point. In each gospel account, the women are greeted by one or more angels who announce to them the resurrection of Jesus. The angels reassure the women, declaring that Jesus has risen from the dead, just as he had promised. The women at the tomb serve as primary witnesses to the resurrection of Jesus. In a cultural context where women's testimony was not always considered reliable, the fact that the gospel writers emphasized the women's role as witnesses underscores the authenticity of their experience.